Hey there Guardians, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking for a build for the training simulator that is better known to some people as PvP. Yeah, read the law. So let me begin by just explaining. I am, without doubt, a PvE main. Yes, I do occasionally play PvP, but that's only so that I can get the weapons that I want for use in PvE. So I'm far from a god. That said, I make builds for PvP that are fun to actually use. Even if you don't take into account idiot blueberries leaving, idiot blueberries not playing the objective, the really bad radar that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, lag, poor hit markers, lag, fucking blueberries, lag. You get the picture. So anyway, we're going to look at my PvP Hunter build, which is a Void subclass centered around the Wormhusk Crown exotic helmet. And the Wormhusk Crown is incredibly easy to understand. If you use your class ability, you instantly recover 67 hit points of health. Simples. Now looking at the subclass, it is your choice of super, however I wouldn't recommend the Spectral Blades just purely down to the long cooldown time. For our dodge we want to take the Marksman's dodge where it reloads our weapons so we can stay in combat more effectively. Your choice of jump, obviously we have to take the Snare Bomb as we have no option there, and I quite like the Void Spike Grenade, however the Vortex is also very good. The advantage I find with the Spike Grenade is we can literally throw it into a wall and do damage round corners, throw it behind someone and pin them into their cover, etc. For our aspects, Vanishing Step, so dodging makes us invisible. This means when we dodge, we regain a chunk of health thanks to Wormhusk. We also go invisible, which gives us that little bit of extra protection as it just slightly disorients our opponents. And then your choice of second aspect. Personally, I go Stylish Executioner. There's no real benefit here from one to the other, as Quick Fall does sort of work, but it then is using up your melee. Moving on to our aspects, we're going to break one of my cardinal rules for builds, and that is we're actually going to be using aspects simply for their stat interactions. And I hate this for PvE. Utility in PvE is far more important than your stat numbers. However, in PvP, where fractions of a second can make a huge difference, we really want our stats where they need to be. So, we're going to begin with the two aspects that are actually useful in the build in their own right. First of all, that would be Echo of Vigilance, where defeating a target while our shields are depleted grants us a temporary Void Overshield. And this Overshield is actually 45 HP and lingers for 5 seconds, or 7.5 if you're using Echo of Persistence, which we aren't on this build. We're then going to take Echo of Expulsion. This means that Void ability final blows cause targets to explode, and that explosion does 130 damage in a 7 meter radius in PvP. Okay, time for the rule breakers. We're going to take Echo of Dilation, which means while we're crouched we sneak faster, gain enhanced radar resolution. Don't care about that, I want the +10 mobility and the +10 intellect. And then finally, Echo of Obscurity. Finish your final blows granting visibility. Obviously you cannot get finishes in PvP, what I care about is that +10 recovery to offset the -10 recovery we got from Echo of Vigilance. On our seasonal artifact, there's very little here that has any impact on PvP at all. The only ones that I would say to look at are Kindling Trigger, Flint Striker, Rays of Precision, and possibly Origin Specializations 1 and 2, depending on the weapons that you're going to choose to use. Other than that, everything else is completely useless, so don't waste your time thinking about them, just throw on whatever you need to get to the columns that you need. Looking next to our armour stats, this is one of the few times I'm going to strongly recommend aiming for triple 100s. However, if you're unable to get the triple, that's fine. Your priority should be, first of all, recovery. As high as possible, definitely want to aim for the 100 here, as it's a 6-second time to full HP when you stop taking damage. Second priority, mobility. We're on a hunter. We want to massively increase our class ability regen time. And then finally, discipline. Again, as high as possible. If we can get that triple 100, brilliant. This one is for reducing our grenade cooldown time. So having all three at 100 means we have obscenely fast recovery. We have our class ability available to us every few seconds, and we have the highest uptime possible for our grenades. Fourth priority, this is PvP, so we do want some intellect. Now the sweet spot on intellect is somewhere between tier 6 and tier 8, and no, that doesn't mean tier 7. But you have diminishing returns above tier 8 on intellect, so there's no point in going above that unless you're crazy. Okay, weapons. I'm not going to tell you what weapons to take for this build, as that is a very emotive topic and the TTKs vary quite significantly. However, what I would recommend is that in your kinetic slots you do take something kinetic. I don't know, Jade Rabbit, Last Word, etc. Whatever you want. And then in your energy slot, take something solar. Now this isn't essential, you can choose whatever the hell you want. However, solar does mean that we can get Radiant this season with the Flint Striker Kindling Trigger combination. We also get to Scorch, which is quite nice. Other than that little bit of, shall we say, pushing in a direction, I would say take whatever feels right to you, whatever you enjoy using. And this brings us on to our mod setup. So on our helmet, we're going to take kinetic targeting and solar targeting. Now, if you've chosen not to use a solar weapon in your energy, obviously change solar to match whichever elemental weapon you are using. On our arms, we're going to take a kinetic dexterity, which means we have faster ready and store speed for kinetic weapons. We're also going to take a kinetic loader, which increases the reload speed for kinetic weapons. It's actually a 15% improvement on the reload duration multiplier. On our chest, we're going to take an unflinching kinetic aim, which reduces flinch from incoming fire while aiming a kinetic weapon, and it's a 25% flinch reduction at 1 copy of the mod. We're also going to take an unflinching solar aim, and again, as mentioned earlier, if you're using a different elemental energy weapon, then switch this to match the element you are using. On our legs, we're going to take a better already, which means our health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of power. We're going to take a kinetic holster, which gradually reloads our stored kinetic weapons over time. Now what this actually is after 1 second it will refill 10% of the weapon's magazine with 1 mod equipped, and then after a further 2.5 second delay it will continue to refill, like so. We're also going to take a soul holster for the exact same reason for our solar weapons. And finally, on our class item, we're going to take a Reaper, which means shortly after using our class ability, our next weapon final blow will generate an orb of power. And finally, we're going to take a Distribution, which reduces all of our ability cooldowns whenever we dodge near targets. Now in PvP, this gives us ability energy at 2% and super energy of 1%, which I know isn't very much, but every little helps. Now because this is a PvP build, there isn't a gameplay loop. However, it will support your chosen playstyle. If you want to be ultra aggressive, the ability to dodge, regenerate health, go invisible means that you can get in and out of dangerous situations rapidly. If you're more conservative, again, you have that health regeneration on tap. just go out and play the game however you choose. It's good fun. When you're not dealing with idiot blueberries and lag and... sorry. There we have it, Guardians, my Hunter PvP build. If you've enjoyed this video and are interested in more Destiny 2 content, please drop a like and maybe even a subscribe. You'd really be helping the channel to grow. But until next time, Guardians, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a fantastic day.